Hello, good evening, Zambia, and good afternoon here on Mountain Time, here in Calgary, Alberta. I'm going to give you all a few minutes to share with as many people as you can. Today, I'm just going to answer any questions that you may have. We don't have a very big agenda. We don't have a very big agenda. Yeah, we don't have a very big agenda. So I'm just we're just going to answer some of the questions that you may have. Happy Friday. My name is Elias Munshya, and I'm coming to you from Calgary, Alberta, here in Canada, from our law firm here, and we are coming on TV Bakwetu. That's what we call it, TV Bakwetu, and so I just want to answer any questions that you may have, and let's just have fun. Okay. Yeah, let's just have some fun. Yeah. So share with as many people as possible. I can see that we can still be joined. Today is Friday, so what are you doing? What is going on? Yeah, what is going on? What is going on? How is your Friday? Okay, any question that you may have, let me just see if I can share this. Yeah. Let's see what we can do. But of course, the questions must be reasonable and respectful. You don't just go asking, disrespectful questions. I will not answer. Yeah. Boss, good evening, and I'm watching you from Lusaka, Zambia. Thanks, Bright. Much appreciated. That's Bright. Yeah, that's that was Bright. George is asking, is it true that you are a tribalist? That's not a question. You can't ask a question that is it true that you are a tribalist? What do you mean? Your question here, are you a tribalist? Is it true that you are a tribalist? What does that even mean when you say, am I a tribalist? Okay. Zambezi. Joseph Chakapanga, Zambezi. How is Zambezi? Quite interesting. Quiet Friday, Vashenda Zukas. You're staying home. Quiet Friday. Nothing. No. But at least you are here on TV Bakwetu, so it shouldn't be a very quiet Friday. Ryan Tapiseni is asking, sir, what canon of interpretation was used in the case of Daniel Pule and Attorney General? What canon of interpretation? I think they explained the Constitutional Court. They explained that what they did was they just took they went to the literal rule, and from the literal rule they then went to the mischief. So they went and looked at the mischief that that law was trying to do, and then they came up with the ruling, right? So literal rule, and then from literal rule they went to the mischief rule, which is pretty controversial because the literal interpretation of those words is very clear. It's minimum grade 12 or its equivalent. And so when it says minimum, it must be interpreted as that, meaning if you have maximum, you can still present it, and maximum would still be acceptable or where you're accepting minimum. But of course, the Constitutional Court is is confusing us because we are still not quite sure what they actually mean, right? As things stand right now, if somebody presented a degree, are they going to decline? It's not clear on that point. And those that are aggrieved, I think, can take the matter up and see. But anyway, the way the Electoral Commission of Zambia has interpreted it is you've got to have a verified grade 12 certificate of results. That is the law, so let us all make sure that we abide by it. If there are some courageous people that are affected by this decision, I think you can go ahead and challenge so that the court exercises some interpretation of what minimum is. I think we'll do that. If you are given a ministerial position of justice minister, can you accept it? I don't know. I can't answer that question ahead of time. But I don't even see myself as fitting in any of these of such roles. I think I'm better off just speaking for the people of Zambia than taking any formal position, you know. But if we came to that question, I will answer it when the question is presented. I cannot begin I speculate a lot. And sometimes when I speculate, I get into trouble. So I don't want to speculate today. And so, because I've stopped speculating. I've stopped speculating, so I'm not going to speculate as to what I'll do, if at all that chance presented itself. But I promise that I'm going to give it the attention that it deserves. But I'm not going to answer the question of what I would do if I were presented with that position. Sebele, why are you in all the social media? I'm not really, it really depends. So I am on TikTok. And the reason why I'm on TikTok is because I've posted, is it four videos on TikTok? It's a piece of real estate that I must have. I failed to do Snapchat, so I'm not on Snapchat. But we are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. I think 4 so far. And I'm also on Anchor FM for my podcasts. And I'm on YouTube for our videos. So that's probably 6. And so why am I in on all these on this social media? It is because I have a message for the world. And I want to present my message to as many people as possible. I'm also in the newspaper. I write for the mass newspaper every Thursday. And I also have a blog. And the reason why I do this is because I believe that I want to share my mind, my heart, what is going on. And I have a big mouth. So when you have a big mouth, you can't keep it to yourself. Akanwa kakulu. So sometimes I just want to mind my own business and be quiet. And then suddenly, I must say something. That's why I'm everywhere on social media. It's not everywhere. It's not everywhere. Regarding Facebook, Facebook changed some of the systems. So my default right now is not my personal page. So I've lost contact with my personal contacts. So the only thing that I have is my Facebook page. And so me with one other administrator, so it's the 2 of us, we are responsible for our Facebook page. And between the 2 of us, I think we are doing just fine. But we need to grow our page because I have a message. I need to grow it. And for our Facebook page, we do not have the things that attract people to pages. You know it. And so we work extra hard by commenting, and commenting sometimes very short comments, and that brings visibility to the page. What we want is to attract as many people as possible to our page because we have a message, right? We have an opinion. We want to express our thoughts. When I started this Facebook page in 2009, Facebook was, in fact, we were being laughed at and mocked as Facebook lawyers, you know, and Facebook politicians and Facebook everything. Until when the government now came on Facebook, the president came on Facebook, everybody came on Facebook, and they found us. So it is part of the strategy to get the message across, the strategy to speak to the world, because I believe that I do have a message. That's why, because all these are just media. What is media? Media simply means it's a medium through which you are using to communicate something. That is what social media is. There is nothing bad with social media. Of course, managing it sometimes is a challenge, but there is nothing wrong or bad with it. That's why we are. Yeah. Mbwili apology. No, I'm not going to talk about Mbwili's apology. No. Watching TV bakwetu. Yeah. Mbwili's, no, I'm not talking about Mbwili's apology. You know, I'm extremely courageous in terms of courage, but there are some things that I choose not to comment on, like Dr. Chimbaka Mbwili's apology. I'm not going to comment on it. Yeah, that one I will not. Yeah. Is the grade 12 overruling bad in totality, or is there a good part? It's extremely bad. It's bad decision. There is no good thing about the grade 12 decision. No, there isn't. It's extremely bad. First of all, the decision itself is incoherent. It does not make sense. One. Secondly, it completely misunderstands the intention of Parliament. Right? It's a very bad decision. That is not the way how to write a decision. It's extremely bad. Quite all right, the Constitutional Court have settled the matter of the law in the sense that what they are saying is that the grade 12, I'm not even sure what they've said, okay? If they say that the word minimum doesn't matter, I don't even know what they have said, right? But on the question of general constitutional principles and interpreting the Constitution, they got it extremely wrong, very wrong. The reason is when the Constitution is vague, when the Constitution is ambiguous, you cure that ambiguity towards inclusion rather than exclusion, right? The Constitution has, if the Constitution wants to ban some people from aspiring to be MPs, the Constitution needed to be clear, very categorical to say, only the grade 12 certificate is going to be the qualification. But that is not what the Constitution said. The Constitution said that it's going to be minimum grade 12. Meaning you can take the maximum, which is a doctorate degree, or a master's degree, or a bachelor's degree, or a postgraduate diploma, or a certificate from Chalimbana University, right? Because all these are higher than a grade 12. But now we are having a legal decision that from the Constitutional Court that defies common sense and says that all these higher academic qualifications do not matter. What matters is a grade 12 certificate. That does not make sense anywhere in the world, right? So that is the problem that we have with the Nkunika and Nirenda case. The other thing is, if we allow such ways of interpreting the Constitution, then the courts will continue infringing rights of the citizens of Zambia. The reason why we have a constitutional court is that the constitutional court looks at the law differently from the way other courts do. It is a specialized court. And as such, it has a certain way, a certain attitude and outlook from which it looks at the Constitution. But in the Nirenda and Nkunika and Nirenda case, they've ignored those rules. Those rules like interpreting the Constitution liberally so as to give more rights to the people. They've ignored that. They've taken an exclusive approach. That cannot be tolerated. It should not be allowed in a constitutional democracy. If the Constitution bans some people, let it clearly ban some people. We have no problem with that. If the Constitution says it's going to ban all short people or all tall people, let it categorically say that. If it wants to ban, let's say, we are banning you from standing as MPs. Let it do that in very clear, categorical language. But we cannot have this thing where the provisions are vague, and then the Constitutional Court decides to exclude rather than include where the Constitution is vague. When the Constitution is vague, you as an interpreter of the Constitution should err towards including more people rather than excluding more people. That is the argument we are making. Okay? So today it's the grade 12 thing. What are they going to use tomorrow? Because remember, it is not only the fact that they are setting a precedent in terms of grade 12, they are also setting a precedent in the development of the law. Because the Nkunika case is going to be relied upon next time that you go to seek an interpretation of the Constitution. And so, what is the mess that has happened in the Nkunika case? It's the exclusive attitude to exclude as many people as possible instead of including as many people as possible, because that's what you are supposed to do when you are dealing with the Constitution. Interpreting constitutional texts is slightly different from how you interpret things like penal statutes. What are penal statutes? Statutes that are going to punish people. Okay? If a penal statute is vague, the approach that you use to interpret penal statute is the one that is going to be exclusive. Meaning, you narrow down as much as possible so that you exclude as many people as possible from being caught by the provision of that penal statute. That is different from the attitude you must adopt when you are dealing with constitutional rights. Constitutional rights should be liberally interpreted. Penal statutes should not liberally be interpreted. They should be conservatively interpreted, meaning you try as much as possible to capture fewer people when you are interpreting a penal statute. On the other hand, as far as the constitutional statute is concerned, you interpret it liberally so as to give more Zambians the right. Right? That is very important. I hope that is slightly clear about the grievance that we have with the Nkunika case. Godfrey Chama says, Mr. Elias Munshya, I'm doing my bachelor's in sociology and criminology with an emphasis in social work and correctional service. I'm in USA. Do you think I should go and get a job in Zambia? You're doing this degree in the US and you're asking whether you should go back to Zambia. That is the decision that you've got to make, right? First of all, jobs in Zambia, do not go and add to the jobless rate in Zambia. If you have a chance to work outside Zambia, then work outside Zambia, right? So that you do not add to the statistics of people that are not able to work. Wherever you are, whether it's in Calgary or it's in the US or anywhere you are, take Zambia with you. You are a citizen of your country, and let Calgary be Chuempala. That's the way it's going to be. Okay. Of course, when you become slightly ongawatambo, you begin missing odd things, and you want to. That's normal. But if you have a chance to work, go ahead and work and maintain your links. That's it. Register as a voter in Zambia, begin building in Zambia, buy land in Zambia, and do all sorts of good things. Okay? Yeah. Are you coming to vote in the forthcoming tripartite elections? I don't know. I'll not answer that question. Yeah. Bwana, how can we bring back our economy back to stability? I've shared several plans. I call them Chuempala plans. Okay, I call it the Chuempala plan. In the Chuempala plan, how are you going to bring back the Zambian economy? First of all, you're going to attract foreign direct investment. That is just the way. You attract foreign direct investment. So you attract international companies to come and invest in your country. That is very important. All right? So you do not begin sending double messages like what is happening under the current government. They don't have a consistent message as far as the economy is concerned. They are sending double confusing messages. What you do is continue attracting foreign direct investment, one. Secondly, make sure that you tighten the systems where these people are investing. Mining, for example. What happens is when these companies come and invest in the mines, the government, if you notice, this is the cycle that has been happening. An investor comes into the country, the government relaxes, the government ignores its own laws, the government ignores its own guidelines as far as procurement is concerned. And what happens is that these companies, they have a free for all kind of attitude between the time that they invest until the next election. In the election year, that is when these governments try to give the impression as if they are working for the people of Zambia. That is a wrong approach. If I were to be given the privilege of working on this, what we are going to do is to have one message, remain consistent with the policies, the investment policies, tighten all the screws. How possible is it that in our own country, companies that are mining minerals in Zambia, the Zambian government claims that it has no idea what they take out of the country? Now, are you going to blame mining companies or you are going to blame the negligence of the politicians? In Zambia, the biggest issue we have is a political problem. It's a leadership issue. Consistent, stable leadership. That is the biggest problem we have. So all these investors come, but because there is no strong political leadership, steady people in control, these companies are exploiting the people of Zambia with approval from the politicians. You attract foreign direct investment. You tighten all the screws. You provide stable political leadership. That is going to be the beginning of an economic recovery. The other thing is, control your borrowing. Zambia right now has borrowed so much that we have no plan of how we are going to get out of this debt mess. We have been missing on payments. And the more payments we miss, it means then that people are not going to trust our country in terms of borrowing any further. Some figures, you see, the problem is that the government is so secretive that we do not even know how much exactly this government has borrowed. We don't know. It's only the World Bank and the IMF that helps us, give us a few figures here and there. Between 27 to 33 billion dollars in debt. That is how much debt we have. And what did we use all this money for? Much of it was stolen. You know, much of it was built to build substandard infrastructure. And all these people that were borrowing us money, they left us with a huge debt. $30 billion. And what are the priorities of the current government? It's airplanes. They're buying helicopters and airplanes and all these things in order to make governing easy for the president. So they're doing everything to make the president's life comfortable. So they bought him a luxury jet, not one, several luxury jets, several luxury helicopters, several things, so that he is comfortable when he is moving. Adding more debt. And when you are adding more debt, it means then that you can't discipline your government in order for the government to stay within the boundaries of how much it is going to spend. You need to bring the debt under control. In fact, that is what President Lungu has been promising every year. He promises it and then he doesn't do it. He's very good at making promises. He promises and he commits his government to discipline, and yet immediately after he has just said amen, he goes back and borrows uncontrollably. The other thing is we need to get government out of business. Our country started doing very well. 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13. Those were extremely good years for our country. The GDP was stable and strong. The kwacha was becoming strong. Something happened. And so in 2015 and 2016 particularly, we have seen that the Patriotic Front government is now wanting to drive this nation back into the one-party parastatal model, the model that used to work under the Second Republic. Now that model could not sustain our country. It was a wrong model. It can't work. The Patriotic Front has now started what is known as IDC. It has bought several companies, but common sense tells you that if you as a government are overextending yourself in that way, what will happen is that you're going to run out of funds to feed all these companies and to feed the civil service at the end of the day. So instead of you becoming collectors of dollars from private people that are coming into your country, you begin competing for dollars in order for you to do business. That model does not work. And so under the Chiwempala plan, government is going to be setting policies, government is going to, as if the Chiwempala plan is materializing tomorrow. Under the Chiwempala plan, government sets policies. Government is stable and strong. Government works at fundamentals and the law. That is what government does. It encourages the private sector to do business. That is what government does. Government does not go into competing with the private sector for industries. No. That is what should happen. Now it's all confusion. We now understand that the news diggers, the Mpulungu Harbor Company, one of the few parastatals that are making a little bit of money, IDC wants to borrow 5 billion kwacha. We told them this IDC model cannot work. You cannot have the president of the republic, a politician, become chair of a government company and expect it to perform properly. It won't. So IDC is chaired by the president. And so IDC is now asking for a little bit of nchekelako from the Mpulungu Harbor Company, 5 billion kwacha. You see what is happening? Mpulungu may not have that money, so Mpulungu will have to go and borrow. And what are the sureties? Assets of Mpulungu Harbor Company. This is the model that cannot work. We have tried it. It hasn't worked. What we need is government stays out of business, encourages the private sector to flourish. And its job is what? It's to tax from the private sector. That is what it is supposed to do. When government begins participating in each and every economic activities, you are going to have an economy that is dependent on the state. And when you have an economy that is dependent on the state, it means then that you are going to elevate political cadres over business decisions. So the ward chairman will have more power, more authority, more rights over common sense decisions. That is the grievance that we have with the current economic models. And President Lungu, you can't leave him out because he's very good at plans. Just from 2016, how many plans, economic plans has he declared? Now we understand that they are working on the 8th National Development Plan, Plan number 8. The question is, what happened to the last 7? What happened to the new one that they just established last year? It tells you something. They have no clue. The Patriotic Front has really reached its climax. Now Africa. Nomba wemuntunga wa Afrika amaka yarapwa. Ati ba Afrika abanyoli nyoli. Serako What else can they do? Nabafika. So makana yachitashani naya wa ngale kuba wa naka Africa kange na Africa nanaka kumufumi hapo. That is what should happen to the Patriotic Front. They have no plan, no idea. Okay? So that is what I think can contribute to the stability of Zambia's economy. Yeah. Good evening, sir. What do you think cybersecurity bill will have on freedom of expression? You see, the problem with the cybersecurity bill is that if you say something that is inaccurate, you are in for 5 years in jail. Okay? If you say anything inaccurate, or you say something that causes emotional distress on another person, you're going to be jailed for 5 years. Now, let me say something about truth, okay? Some people ask me that, Elias Munshya, you are a lawyer. And as a lawyer, you are supposed to work on a higher standard of proof. Now, that is completely nonsense, okay? Here is the reason why it's nonsense. When the government insists that citizens should only give information that is truthful to the standard of a court standard of truthfulness, what it means is that they want to turn the entire country into a courtroom. Which means for you to make up your mind about anything, you need rules of evidence. You need rules of evidence. So you can't even speculate, cause an opinion. You can't do that. They want you to provide, first of all, to adhere to the rules of evidence, first of all. When you prove that you have all the evidence, that's when you can now express your opinion. That is not right. That is not how God created humans to operate. Humans do not need that high standard of court evidence in order for them to live. No, we don't. When we get into a car, we do not begin inspecting each and every part of the car to see whether it will take us to the next place. We do not operate on the court level of evidence. Namumano. Takuwa bati yo before nshira tontonka nyanana bonfia the standard of beyond reasonable doubt. That's not how we live. But that is what they are trying to say. That no, you cannot say kanshi tetu ambe tetu tontonkanye tetu na kabo fi tetu lande tetu kwate na ka opinion yo baka kuikata 5 years in jail. That is not right. And in the meantime, whom are we going to leave to be telling the truth? The government. All right. So ngachita disappear lungu for 1 or 2 days or 3 days or 5 days or 5 weeks. Tekwe kulanda pwata likwi nga waipusha baikata nga watunganya kwa tiyo mkwa limbi ni COVID balwere bakwikata to bring evidence that he has COVID. That is what happens in a dictatorship. Now, I don't expect to cover all the Zambians are going to be held to that standard. That is not right. Abantu nga baleno alutuku nangu katata nangu katobi abene balera chita extend to mariashi about things. They should be left to exchange to mariashi. The state should not impose on what these people are saying on strict rules of evidence. No. Olefwa yaka kero. Ero nomba the state imposes rules of evidence. Olefwa yaka kero wambo kukabepa ka kero tuntutumotumo. And then the state says no. Anga wabepa gelo nishi wavya sana. 5 years. No. Okay? That is what democracy is all about. Democracy is never right at all the time. People's opinions are never right all the time. But people should freely think and freely ulanda. Hello, some of us we are in the prophetic. So nangu sometimes kula batika prophetic kabufi, but it's religious freedom umuntu fwine afwire at pangaka prophetic nangu kabufi. It's part of existence. Now to come and impose the higher standard, the court standard of truth into everyday life, that is a dictatorship. No, the state should not do that. And that is what they are trying to do as far as the cyber bill is concerned. All right. Okay. So So are we concerned about things that are false? Of course we are concerned. People are making up lies all the time. People have made lies about me. I just take a picture with President Hakainde Hichilema, a very wonderful gentleman, President Hakainde Hichilema. And then the next day, a news site publishes that I was offered a position of justice minister. Everything is made up. Now, all I need to say is that is a lie. I don't need to go and arrest those people and throw them in jail for 5 years. No, they are liars. That's what they are. But we should not be jailing liars, because if we begin jailing every liar in Zambia, the entire nation is going to go to prison. And because we can't imprison the entire country, it means then that those that support the president and those that support the Patriotic Front Party are going to be exempt from the application of this rule. That is where the problem. That is where the problem is. And that is the problem with the cyber security bill. The other thing is, when it says that emotional distress, what is emotional distress? When you say that you cause somebody emotional distress, you are liable for imprisonment. What is emotional distress? Of course, if you are a president and you are flying in a very expensive jet, you want to be comfortable. Echo washitire nendeke ya manone. Nicho ulefu ya manone. Nombo muntu ngakwebo ko bati yuendeke washitire ya manone. You've misused public funds. You can be emotionally distressed. Should that be the reason why you should be locking up citizens for 5 years? No. That is the problem with the cybersecurity bill. Okay? Trisha, you just had to say that. Is it possible, sir, to sell a country? This is serious. Trisha, mlefu kushtisha chalo. Ati mwanaka musampuishe. Mwandi. Yeah. Peter Chilufia, so you don't think the clauses in the Constitution? No, they are not meant to confuse citizens. Yeah. Can you have the maximum minus the minimum? What is the question exactly? Here is a simple question. The question is, Bushe, kuchu muntu achiluka grade 12? Right? Bushe, kuchu muntu achiluka grade 12? Yes. It's simple, common sense. If in the randapo, that's very complicated if you're covered that if you into show pasana. No, this is simple common sense. Abantu bala chiluka grade 12 all over the world. Na Zambia mwine bale chiluka grade 12. Kwali baba kwa tama degrees na diplomas. Bali chiluka grade 12. Common sense. Should we have a country where abantu tabachiluka grade 12? That would be a terrible country, because then nishiapanga fie one stream of life. No. Kutumwabashani a prosperous country when you only have one stream of anything. Grade 12. No. Kwali babantu abakwebati ifia mabuku tafia tababamo. You know what I mean? Now grade 12 ine dimbite barembe bwino tababa musana mufya mabuku but bali ba gifted mufya kupanga mu grade 9 muri mwine alefu afi enecho alefu ya kupanga you identify their talent. Grade 9 grade 10 parape mu abasenda mu abatwala ku trade school ku vocational school ku technical schools mu abatwala nomba. It means then that ulyo muntu aya ku trade school na ku vocational school na kwisoko, it means Muamuchita condemn Kalokobati, they can never be MPs. Shiranda tibaka vyama MPs. Ndelanda fie to be considered as Zambian enough to be MPs. Ebwa fie wai interpretation iti po kuli constitutional court. Because if you irandire tafire panga mano mwevo tamuli amano. Ngo muntu wakwebata akula kumushi takwali amaskulu akula aba chidi afika kuma 20 or 25 years old abo Karavana was, panga, university, yamonati, alipango tuwaku panga. They can't. What about people like Abena Kaunda, grade 9? They went to Chalimbana Babama teachers, certificate 1 year. They went to teach primary school, secondary school. Afterwards, some of them became lawyers, some of them became degrees, some of them became mechanical, some of them became so many things after independence. This new law says they can't be MPs. You know what I mean? So the idea of abantu abachiluka grade 12 yabufi everywhere around the world abantu balachiluka grade 12. Apo grade 1 abantu balachiluka, grade 2 balachiluka. Tamwamona apo abachiluka grade 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 na 9 na 10 bachiluka na 11 12 bachiluka takwaba. So umuntu ngachiluka grade 12 ayapo kaka diploma somewhere ero nombaya ku University of Zambia akwata degree na masters na PhD at no ofuro wabwekera muwa mugo chita GCE. That does not make sense. You are a poor country, for goodness sake. Umuntu alikwata PhD from the University of Zambia tikabiyo chita GCE. What kind of development is that? Umuntu aile kuma trade school, plumber, nangu carpenter, ali chitabu bwino ala pange fya kupanga. At no, go back, twakukana kabiye ngali ochite GCE elo were. What kind of development is that? Na kwata na abana, instead yako batare repeat abana ku school. Ena ayamu kuchita compete for GCE. And we think that is okay. It's not okay. George Chubbs announcing before, of course, that is just a strategy. Yeah. Yeah, I've already answered on the cybersecurity bill. Lucas Ladebe, alamwira kwa HPU. Lucas Ladebe HPU, iwe, kushipa mwebo kushipa, nga wamona tafire bomba bwino, wakosa po, ukushipikisha takudi yo, relationship no ukushipikisha, Facebook ukushipikisha 0, mukusukulu ukushipikisha 0, consequence kanono fina fileka, you know, mwala kafie one time watifia apwa, efyo file puira. Pantu shipikisha club ide tapadi no matapadi, nothing. So Lucas Ladebe, ati njirandi tena nkweso waya why aren't you answering me? No bane. For national development, ufirokula baba shipikisha club. That's what life is. Life ni shipikisha club. That's what life is. Shipikisha club. Relationships, shipikisha. If you ko shipikisha. Ukuteka kushipikisha. Na pa Facebook pene kushipikisha. It's a shipikisha. Na leso mwine fwa Joshua, be strong and courageous. Shipikisha ukose. Leteine Joshua. At Moses is dead. Nomba ni wena sala. Ushipikishe shipa ukose. Nomba ukukosa tapali, ukukosa aba ume tapali ukukosa ukwacha ume tapali. Kano no ichipiu. Yeah, on CK, I'm not commenting on CK. I tried, we all know that Chishimba Kwambulu will be pardoned. Okay. Yeah. Shenda Zuka Satama questions yamu. Brother Joseph, why don't you reply WhatsApp messages? Okay, you know what, Joseph, today, Gana yapa Facebook, WhatsApp, please send me a message, okay? Send me a message, na like to reply. Alamwandini, if it's tika fyako ama WhatsApp messages, yale sanango, 50 or 100. And so, when I get new WhatsApp messages, it means the other ones go down. So na imwebe neba Joseph, mushipikishe, kushipikisha. Continue sending me a message. No tukuba kwati kali pepala. No, you ishindi kushipa. President, the same as MP. Yeah. Junior Bali at Lucas life kushipa. I'm telling you, we need to tell you because what happened was when Zambia became a Christian nation twasangira muri bupente if bapente twalisafunyepo ati kushipikisha because what we said was what God gives you you don't need to struggle for, you know. God gives you favor, doors will be opening for you if twatampira okushimikira na mufyupo mwine twaliza tambo okushimikira no fiance vile bale bachipikisha club, no, you deserve it. If it's my fiance, you deserve it in your if it what and pure brand at you deserve it. Kansha Kalumendo Naga Kashana. They come together. They think that they deserve. And they deserve good things. But on the first day, what are the good things that I deserve? Takuri. Second day, Takuri. Third day, Takuri. What is this? No. Ero tatua bebere ati kuyashipikisha ati yo kushipikisha fya kwa satana efe twale beba ati kushipikisha kwa satana imwe you are supposed to be blessed and enjoy so nomba kanshi it's a lot of confusion in young marriages. No nomba inonjita nato chinja. We are bringing back those teachings. Now, I'm not saying that things like abuse, umuntu, you know, gender-based violence. That's a no-no. What I mean is no. Pakafie. Na tomorrow na mairo eko yaba. Tekoba ti fiance fintu apapende nishi kanshi chashupa ngatauliri obwali ngatauliri obwali Sapa, in Kondo, the war that men are unleashing, nuclear weapons. And what is the problem at Yomkwai Shadido Sapa? Shadido, Wemone, Gatauli Sapa, it's okay, Okadia Mairo. Nekutuarara Kwensara for one night, Tawafwe. You are in for the long haul in that marriage. Why should you insist? At Mpakafie. Mpakafie kui? At if you don't give me inenga taumpero wali ubunga tau naide wino wa kondo wali wino nishine fiapwa. What kind of life is that? Particularly men. Particularly men. It's not women because women barabafunda. That's why you see all those traditional teachings. Babika ifya mulilo to do what? Filia munchita munje beko wanamai. Filia bamiranga at the kitchen party na changa mulilo. You know, fimone kafani hai. And why should a woman be told ukuchita with her lips to lift hot things from the fire? Nika lesson. No, but men are not receiving those same lessons. That's why you worry if you one day aitana na meeting ya family every mwe family seni mumfwe abakashibandi tawai piko wari mairo. And what is the crisis here? And the crisis is that tabai pike ala wewe na umuntu alanaka ngorefu okuipika ke ipike kanshi nkawi uyo ipikile. So okushipa very important. Stability okushipa strong strength you know what I mean. Na mwisho mwana alosha na leka wale wen WhatsApp line mi pere WhatsApp line ya business. Okay, nara mi pere Nishi bakambwirita bashipikisha. Nakana. You want to take me kuli bakambwiri? Ninkana. I'm not talking about bakambwiri. If you could finish reading my earlier message, then it could make sense. You only saw CK. Read the question below in the same post. Okay, can you copy it again, because I can't go back. Tribunal period. Is this your real name or Shan? Mtuwebe kwa real names na hivyo tuishi. Waliawen, ati mpaka fie. Mpaka fie. No. Tamulire somo. If you begin insisting at mpaka fie, nish there is no God. Tamuabechi temuiko chako aleza. Muabechi temuiko chako satana. Teresa ali moyo. Pantunga muliresa. Mulabako kaliaka tolerance kadia. Not you. Kulabako kaliaka koba it's okay. Fisanga ba ume. You know, kind of approach. Fira chitika. Not that I'm entitled. Pakafie kanofie. No. That's not so no mpakafie muleke. You know, leave it alone. Mpakafie should be completely abandoned. Oh no, I'm not going to talk about Kambwe. Passing grade 12 doesn't mean ekukwata mano. I've seen people who stopped school in grade 7 with very good reasoning and doing well. Yeah, I feel it was going to be better to let them. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it doesn't. Do you see yourself joining the Zambian political arena in future? Yeah. Your question, yeah. This question is so big that mfuiro kutekanya pakwasuka. Nshfuiro kubirima. Kwa libama questions ya moya kwebate, they are so strong such that pakwasuka ufuiro waba very careful and ufuiro watusha nganero wasuka mwino. So allow me to bench this question. Ain, panto njisha asuke bwino na alalu fianya mumyasukire. Yeah. Now, why do you have a soft spot for CK? Ain, andimuntu fie, na inewile danaka. Ndimuntu fie. So kulabati, I don't have soft spot for someone. Erodi minasa kwata the soft spot for someone. So, would you allow me? So no. We are not going to comment on CK. We could do it later, but not lelo. Yeah. Okay. So which one, tribunal? So this one. We all know that Shimakambule will be pardoned of his many court cases via knowledge. Because the president or his associates will intervene because CK is now on his side. What do you think has to be done or changed to put in place for leaders to stop interfering in judicial processes? Yeah. Yeah, it's very likely to happen and it's very sad. I want to address the issue of CK comprehensively at a later time, okay? Because it's complicated. And so I want to give it a little bit more time and then I'll come and address it. So some people think that he's going to get no less, but some people feel like the PF might not accept him. So I don't know which way to go, right? But we'll see. We'll see how it will go. Previous Chilea, how do foreigners out there view Zambia? What is their perspective on this country from a casual thought? I think when they see me, they're like, you're from Zambia. If you look Zambia, goes to my. I think they like Zambia. Could you kindly explain the difference between knowledge and wisdom? I can't just off the mark just say what it is. If I had to explain it, I think wisdom mano yajifiadi, you know, amano yaguteka abantu, amano. That is what wisdom is. Wishibo kusende fintu. Knowledge kushwe fintu fibomba. Kushwe fintu. wisdom. Ukuyishibefya amano. Wisdom mano. Knowledge fintu ifyo fibombe fintu knowledge tuwalishibefya. I think, yeah. But you empara mushipe pali isike. No, I'll come back. I'll come and address this issue at a later time. First, you know, you have to make sure that now we shiva we now take and yeah. In some cases, I spoke about isike. Yeah. Peter Chilufa, you are waiting the reply on which one? On CK? Yeah, I'll come back and tell you. What I wanted was the opposition alliance. That's what I said. I'm like, let the opposition come together, because if you don't come together, PF is going to win. It's as simple as that. If you feel it very complicated, sana, you know, opposition must work together. To unseat a sitting president is not easy. We've done it before, right? Kaunda and Arabi, but tuwashukire sana mu 2011. Yeah. No, it's not that I choose. It's just that it rotates. So by the time that I'm coming to what is being read, nishna pitakare. So Newton, munjereko. You know, you can't read nearly everything, but I can see. Ganachita scroll. Yeah. Make sure when you decide to comment on CK, no, I have no fear about the cyber crimes bill. Okay. I don't think it will do what President Lungu thinks that it's going to do. If you cover that, they'll just be arresting people left, right, and center. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Lungu Jonathan, who feeds you with information about Zambia? What made you leave your country? That made me leave Zambia? No, I came to school. I came to Canada to study, to do a Master of Divinity. And then after I finished, no problem. And then I did my law degree here with an English university. And then I did my LLM in America. And then I became a lawyer in Albert. So I'm truly an international lawyer, right? So I decided to stay and live in two countries, Zambia and Canada. Yeah. Who is wrong between the Concord or the Constitutional Court on the G12 certificate? The Concord is wrong, but their wrong decision is law. So we don't even know what they've wrote. Like a simple question: if I took my master's degree, I have several master's degrees. So if I took one of my 5 master's degrees to ECZ, will ECZ refuse? That's the key question. And at one master's degree or Master of Business Administration, will ECZ refuse? ECZ is saying that yes, they will refuse, which is pretty ridiculous because the Constitution says minimum grade 12, meaning I can take anything that is maximum. The Constitution doesn't say only grade 12. The Constitutional Court is the one saying that only grade 12. But no. Mfwire na salapo, not to kumpatikisha tintwale grade 12. No. Mfwire na salapo pa yari 7. I throw the dice. Which one should I take to ECZ? Is it this one or the other one? Out of my own free will. Not to kulam kontolola. Kumpatikisha at take grade 12. Chef, why you kutwala grade 12? Therefore kutwala degree. Why you kontolola, you know? Chef, why? What's your comment on registered private universities? Do you think they contribute to poor quality of education? A registered private university, registered under our laws in Zambia, is a university. It must be respected. And if you don't want to respect it, fear with you. But a duly registered university in Zambia is a university. The only university is ZIT and Unza Fiakale, Kale Fiapwa. Under our new laws, we now have new private universities. Gamwatsa accredit a university. It is a university. That's it. Of course, you can come up with all the standards, and it's okay to come up with a standard. But this double thing that is happening where instead of the government trying to help these new universities, the message that is coming out is like these new universities are not good universities at all. Let people freely choose. Zambia has changed. We are not going to go back kufiakane with two universities. No, it's over. That era is over. Right? Just like the era of journalists and broadcasting, or even comedians. Akale pakoba tuwe comedian, kano ZNB's ya kusumina. Or one of the Lusaka Playhouse ya kusumina. All you need is a phone. Ganao kwatafe phone. You are a comedian. Isn't it how we are knowing some of these comedians? Bakwatafe phone, abikapo, asekesha. And they are comedians. So number two, they insist that you going to work in a time when ZNBC was the only TV channel for comedians. No. Lawyers. Lawyers are just going to be unza. No. Nombama lawyers, they come from different universities. That is the beauty of development and progress. I understand the HEA has withdrawn 6 PhDs that were offered by Twin Palm University. Now, here is my concern. If you are regulating universities and you give them the right and the charter to offer degrees, that's it. You have given them. Not abantu basambirira babapera ma PhDs. Elo mwaya pokolo lati yo mkwai these things were irregularly issued. That is not right. The Higher Education Authority is not a department of UNZA. It should not be controlled by the University of Zambia or the Copperbelt University. No. It's a creature of statute that should do it in public interest. And public interest begins from the time that you authorize a university. Not abantu chidabachita graduate. University. What will happen to the market of private schools in Zambia? Private universities? It's going to tank. These universities have employed professors, have employed lecturers, have employed cleaners, they've employed guards, they've employed all these people. When you take away business from them, what is going to happen? When the government begins undermining private institutions, what is going to happen? If you talk about university education, fiari kosa sana, uvire wa piva, pako kuwata degree, fiakale, fiari poa. That kind of shortage mentality, fiari poa. Apo mwali pasisha by grade 7, this government, ukupasisha everyone who sat for grade 7 exams. Bonse badi pasa. How can this government now come and tell us, 6 hour PhDs, they should be withdrawn? We ask at what are the reasons that we've communicated these reasons to the institution concerned. No. We want to know, why have you withdrawn it? Where were you? John said, it is school yali chita enroll abantu in a PhD program. Mwalikwi? It is school yali funda over years abantu abama PhD program. Mwalikwi? Chile yachita graduate, yapela abantu abama PhD degrees. Elu mwaya pokolola chan. You know what that does? That is not right. This is a duly established university by your own law. You've accredited it. Yapela 6 PhDs. It caused a little bit of thing, but that is the nature of life. Fiari chinja. Akale bakatolika bale moneka bale mona kwati HH yachine beka. Kwateba kwatafe bashkofu. In 1991 ukutwaliza fichinja. Na ifo ba pente akantu kala la kawu ko luchelo kebere nika bishop. Nika shikofu. Ero fata mpire first ifikote. Ifima bishops ifipente. Ero nombo tulumendo kalepu isha fe grade 9 ako nika bishop. That is the nature and beauty of democracy. Teba katolika wale ilishanya nomba bali vereda. It means 19-year-old nika bishop na kena. That is the beauty of freedom and democracy. No mevivya kwa ati mwambe kuchita undermine private universities. Mwaba chita accredit wino. Mwaba pera nama guidelines ya kuchita nani. Bachita enroll ama students. Vyonse bachita. Ero nama mwasa wapokolo at the end of the day. Ero tuwaipisha ati yo, we've taught that school. We want you to tell us as well. We are interested in this matter. Because number economy, yala onaika, higher education economy, yala onaika. Because who is going to go to any private university? So between Unza and Shani University, why should I go to a private university? When I'm not confident about the higher education authority is going to protect me when I enroll. Okay, 4 years later, they come and withdraw it. This is not right. I don't even know the reasons why those 6 PhDs have been withdrawn. But if I were them, I would try to seek legal opinion over this. The Higher Education Authority, if we to apoka degrees that not to investigate, you need to tell us we are interested as citizens. Why have you withdrawn these PhDs? At the University of Zambia, pakupanga fie dissertation and proposal. Why doesn't the University of Zambia give PhDs? Ati nani unga kupela degree at the University of Zambia? PhD. The same guys who went and obtained very straightforward degrees outside the country. Ngababwela into the University of Zambia, shortage ya ingira. At even straightforward things, it's nothing. Dissertation, years and years, proposal. You at proposal level. I think I need to enroll Nkaimwene at Unza. Nkaimwene. But that is what is happening. Ukukoshe fintu ifishikosere. Look at Nigeria. Wunda wagutasha ma Nigerian doctors that are Nigerian educated people. Ugutasha sana. What are you doing in your own country? You are undermining your own institutions. Encourage these universities. Quite all right, have very stringent measures, but when a university meets those stringent measures, let it go. This Ulu, university. Not to call out you they are undermining quality education. What is quality education? Kukoshef into Ukufunda degree with 1960 textbooks. Nishi Eskuru. University of Zambia Library, I'm a book tamuaba yali ruba, tamuaba. I'm a book yaba moyam 1960 and I'm 1970. And that is the kind of education. And we don't spoon feed. Education is simple. Kuberenga, watch the answer if you are berenga. Somebody corrects you at your mkwaya pa if you are. That's what is education is. Kalembe story about the First Republic. Why are about the First Republic? Umuntu wachonga akupela ama marks na mutakupela ama marks. Te kwamba kuchita complicated into fishiri complicated. That is not education. So if these universities were funda leadership, transformational leadership, wafunda transformational leadership, nishinaba funda we. At least if you are trying to be difficult, try to be difficult. Register. Mwabapela ma standards. Ngabachita enroll ma PhD students. Mwabachita caution. At least the mbikuti panga ko sense. Nocha abantu bachita graduate no kulumba tuwa tashat muri nshimbi mwe. Tuamba no kubeta Dr. Shani. Bishop doctor, pastor doctor, reverend doctor, tuabatasha, ero imomwasara and that pokolora. What kind of life is that? I can't. Now mwampela reason at Nchiri. For you to withdraw a duly given PhD, the Higher Education Authority must come up with a very big reason. Not if you cover that you investigated and leave the vague language like that. No. The Higher Education Authority is a creature of statute. The organization ya muntu. Is it niba chairman by the organization? Mweba kwata responsibilities over statutory bodies. You are servants of the people. You do it in public interest. The kwamba kokula chitefintu depending on how you are feeling. That why pusha tiyo muipusha. This is private information. It's not private information. We deserve to know. Why did you withdraw 6 PhDs from Twin Palm leadership? Omwaichi atamba university. Abombesha. Abombesha akula university. Nama professors aingisha. Mwaya pokolola. Market yakwe yonaike. So that it comes begging from the Patriotic Front at Impereniko, youth empowerment. FMLFY. No. She will say if you're a youth empowerment country, now because the state must be reasonable. Kuba be reasonable. Tetabantu bachita enroll in the PhD. Mwalishi batu bachita enroll. Balesa mbirira. Mwalishi batu balesa mbirira. Bareremba ma dissertation. Mwalishi batu bareremba ma dissertation. Years after bachita graduated, we don't recognize that PhD. And you think it's normal. Now, if you are enhancing educational standards, you are not enhancing educational standards. If you were enhancing educational standards, from enrollment and accrediting of the institution, what you are doing is that you are throwing doubt, sowing seeds of doubt in our educational systems. Talk about number, we still go back and continue depending on government universities. UNZA and CBU. That's why CBU now, a university that was created very specifically for technological courses number, they are into everything. They are into business, they are into law, they are into everything. They are now an open university. Charlie, open university. Why? It's because access to university education is an issue. Number mwakonka ni apoku chita undermine. So mutwebe kwa ma reasons ngamwatu pela ma reasons twala suminisha nyoko bate chachine. You are right. Yeah. Look, this is the thing. ABC, you do not have to have standards. What I'm saying is that university, Twin Palm leadership, is accredited, fully accredited. In fact, I think its accreditation is one of the top accredited. You've not withdrawn degrees, you've not withdrawn masters. You knew Ukwawati that enrolled PhD students. Why didn't you withdraw at that time? Kuti abantu bachita graduate first thing, bachita graduate, bapushe school, elo mwachita withdraw. What does that do? It sows the seeds of doubt in private university education. I don't care about whether it's standards. If you have standards, then apply them properly, apply them normally. Not after abantu bachita graduate with PhDs. Elo nomba mwa sensela at mwapoka ma PhDs. No. How much tafira berera? Elo ma bad manners ai. It's like my glasses. It's very bad manners. How to do broadcasting. The university is fully accredited. It's a fully accredited university. The one that offered the latest 6 degrees that they've withdrawn. It's fully accredited university. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. We've got to go. Yeah. Unjerereko ikusokula senda kofyo tuma parts tumoto panunga tuwatampo kulanda ulalanda for 1 hour 13 minutes to landa fine. You don't like it, eh? We should shorten it. God bless you and God bless our country. Thank you.